Hey, what's up, everyone? It's James and Cuervo. Thank you so much for joining us. We're out here enjoying this beautiful summer evening, having a couple of cold ones. And today we're going to be answering a Q&A video. These Q&A videos are very fun to make, and they're also very easy content to make. We're not doing a lot of, heavy work or stuff like that. And the reason for that is because we have a very busy next 2 weeks for Junkyard Fox, and we're organizing those videos. A lot of knife reviews are coming for the month of September. So in the meantime, we wait for certain things to be delivered or we scout areas. We're going to be answering some questions, okay, guys? So thank you for joining us. As always, pour yourself a cold one. Now let's get to it. Okay, so starting with question number one comes from our buddy Gangsta Pups. Now, Gangsta Pups has been in the channel several times. He's a longtime buddy of ours. Also, side note, him and I started our own YouTube channel. It's just about geek stuff. So if you're into Star Wars and Predator, stuff like that, be sure to check us out. We recently reviewed the recent Prey movie, the recent Predator movie, and we're just having a lot of fun over there. Just something far more relaxed. But anyway, Gangsta Pups asks, what would your own liquor brand be and what would it be named? Me personally, I'm more of a beer guy than anything, so I'm more likely to make a beer than a liquor. But in case you were just gonna stick to liquor, then it would probably be some kind of bourbon. That's what I tend to drink, and I would probably just keep it kind of close to the brand, close to like Snake Eater whiskey or Snake Eater bourbon. I'm sorry, unless that's a thing. Is that a thing? Snake Eater?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, well, Snake Eater bourbon, unless that's already been taken, then probably like a Dusty Boots bourbon. So, yeah. What about you, Cuervo?
I'd have to go with the wine, like a deep red wine. I'd call it between Saturnine, which is like a state of slow gloominess, or like Ravenberry. I don't know. Just so you can have the raven in it.
Question number two comes from Heathen Gypsy, who asks, what's on your catch and cook wish list? What isn't on my catch and cook wish list, to be honest? Um, I want to definitely make plans to head out to the East Coast next year. So, Florida, Louisiana, all that area, all the swamps and bayous and beaches. I definitely want to make some time to go over there. I would love to hunt iguana. I would love to hunt an alligator and elk. I would love to hunt an elk. So, yeah, I love catch and cook videos. I love the experience of hunting, all that stuff. Sadly, they don't do well. The last couple of years, our catch and cook videos just keep getting less and less views. So either I don't know if it's YouTube that's just purposely suppressing them, or just the Junkyard Fox audience just isn't interested in those compared to like camping videos or EDC updates or stuff like that, or foraging videos. So kind of sucks, but I love catching cooks, and yeah, I'm not a picky eater. I am an adventurous eater. If I can hunt it, kill it, cook it right up, that's we're there. So definitely a lot of alligators and iguanas I would love to do soon. Question number three comes from Razorblade, who asks, have you ever hunted with a bow and arrow before? Would be cool if there's a future catch and cook with a bow and arrow.
I'll answer that one. So no, we haven't done bow and arrow catch and cook, but it'd be an interesting concept to learn though. I know bows require a lot of precision and muscle memory kind of thing, and it's always good to have that advantage of being quiet. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, I think we might end up buying a bow pretty soon just to start learning, to start messing around with it. So pretty soon I think I could see that happening. Question number four comes from our buddy Audrey too. She's actually my buddy Gangsta Puffs' girlfriend. She was also the witch that was the character in the Cuervo Negro music video for Dark Trees. So Audrey asks, for both you and Cuervo, if you could go camping with any historical slash famous person, dead or alive, who would it be? It's gonna be a very boring answer for me. I would probably go with Ray Mears. So, for those of you who don't know, Ray Mears is a famous outdoorsman. He really popularized bushcraft in the last 20 years. He's a British lad. And the reason why I would go with him compared to, like, say, like Lewis and Clark someone more old world is, I think he's just very modernized, and, a lot of that information's outdated, stuff like that. Or, Lewis and Clark, they knew their stuff, or, Horace Kephart, but there's a good chance they just, in terms of like knowing scientifically stuff, like drinking water from creeks and all that. So I would just kind of play it safe and go with someone who's just far more knowledgeable than me, but just, he's still in the modern day era with modern day understanding of science and medicine and all that. So, uh, yeah, very boring answer, but Ray Mears. What about you, Cuervo?
Uh, I would have to go with Aleister Crowley. Fun for the people that don't know, Crowley. He was a famous and infamous magician of sorts, sort of the cult leader. But a lot of people focus on the negatives of him. But he gave way to a lot of practices in magic and the occultism and stuff like that. But fun fact, Crowley was a very good hiker, and he liked to travel a lot. So it's one person I like to hang out with and hike and do bushcraft and do magic stuff. That's where it's at.
Ozzy Osbourne has a famous song, Mr. Crowley,
Oh
with
yeah.
Randy Rhoads on guitar. Check out that song; it's a banger. Question number 5 comes from our buddy Stephen Fowler, who asks, "What is your favorite knife?" Just kidding. He knows I'm so over that question. How about, what is one skill you both want to learn? Not something to get better at that you already know, but a skill you have zero experience in, but would love to learn and add to your skill set. Mine's got to be flint knapping. Very interesting question. So, something that I have basically zero knowledge in that I would love to just automatically add to my skill set would be navigation. I took a little bit of those classes when I went to Dave Canterbury School in Ohio, but it was really brushed over, and I really had a hard time comprehending, the reticules and just the degrees and all that stuff. And I really struggled. That was the one thing in those classes that I needed more time on, and I have not been able to find classes locally or anything like that. So navigating, you using the compass, that stuff, I wish I could just learn it. Or maybe like even going more old school, more advanced, and like navigating by the stars, celestial navigation and stuff like that would be really cool. What about you?
A skill is medicinal properties of plants. So learn how to make salves and balms and stuff like that out of roots and nuts and stuff like that. That's a skill I don't. I'd like to practice more and learn more about it, but you need more field research and a lot more credible sources for it. So yeah, that's one thing I'd like to learn more about.
Good stuff. Question number 6 comes from our buddy Nelson Costa, who asks, "Do you guys have any plans for like a 3 or 4 day backpacking trip video? It would be cool to see what you guys use and recommend for a light minimalist setup when you're carrying everything on your back." Nelson, we actually have something planned in the next coming weeks. So this year I started making some stealth camping videos, and they've been a hit. You guys really have been enjoying those stealth camping videos. And I've been wanting to kind of get back to it, but kind of make it like I'm amping it up every time. And in the last one, I do want to make a 3 day kind of bugging out scenario / stealth camping in the wilderness. So that's what's planned. I just got to scout the locations first. And I mean, we're talking about 3 hours, 4 hours away kind of place. So I do need like a whole day to, get over there and scout the area and, find water sources and all that before I can go and, you know, take my pack and all that stuff. So it does take a little bit of planning, a little bit of organizing and scouting. So give me a couple of weeks. But for sure, if it doesn't happen at the end of this month, it'll happen in early October. So a big 3 day bug out bag stealth camping video is in the works. Question number 7 comes from Luke of the Cave, who asks, "What is yours and Cuervo's favorite movie? Love the videos, brother. I always get so happy when I see y'all post a new one." Thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words. So, Luke, for me, I think it's a tie between two different movies, and they're so very different that it's weird that they're both of my top favorite. But the first one is No Country for Old Men, directed by the Coen brothers.
What's the most you ever lost in a coin toss?
love that film so much. It has been such an inspiration and so influential to who I am as a person, both in my way of viewing the world, philosophy, as well as creatively. When you see a lot of more my production heavy, like where I'm directing and stuff, I think you could see a lot of, the cinematography from that film. And in fact, I actually dressed up as Anton Chigurh for one of our Halloween specials a few years back. Nobody watched that video, but we had a great time. It was really fun. So just a very nihilistic Western and so deep. I'll stop here because I could speak about this movie for like 2 hours straight. So I'm just gonna stop here. That one is tied with Batman Begins by Christopher Nolan.
What do you fear? How do you know my name? The world is too small for someone like Bruce Wayne to disappear.
Where No Country is very nihilistic and very bleak. Batman Begins is on the other side. It's just very hopeful. It's very, it's beyond the superhero tropes. We know Christopher Nolan, of course, would go on to make The Dark Knight, which is his masterpiece. But I think I love Batman Begins a little bit more. And like I said, it's so opposite because in this one, it's just about, overcoming past trauma and helping others along the way. And I think it's really beautiful. A lot of the dialogue is just, outstanding that I never forgot. Those are my two favorite movies.
It's a complicated question, I think, because I always love movies in the sense for the cinematography, the music, and stuff like that. Like Wind River, I think, is a very beautiful movie. It's very dark.
Sheriff's office.
I need emergency assistance.
What's your location?
The Wind River Indian Reservation.
But, I mean, you can't really watch that all the time. So, but I'd have to go with the more like the Constantine movie, the Hellboy movies, stuff like that. I really love that kind of that lore of the supernatural and demonology and stuff like that is very interesting, even though it's all comic books. But that's pretty much it. A lot of what James said I agree with too. I love those movies too, but I had to go a little bit different route for it. That's it. And yeah, that's it.
Question number 8 comes from Big Joe, who asks, what's your favorite video you've made? That's an interesting one. My favorite video I've made would probably be the mesquite video we did last year or 2 years ago, I think, at this point. Time flies.
Yeah.
But yeah, gathering mesquite pods, crushing them down, grinding them down to make small little cakes. We also made a coffee substitute. So it's a little bit of wild coffee. And I think that's the epitome of our desert foraging videos. What about you, Cuervo?
I would have to go with the soap, the yucca root soap we did. I think it was an important journey to learn how to use that or to make that video, and it was to be involved in the journey of it. I don't know, I like it because it teaches you how to see mundane things differently and applying it to yourself every day, whether it's a yucca plant or a yucca root or a fruit, whatever it is, it's foraging, it's survival, it's nature, and it's you using your hands for creation and destruction and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that was one of my favorites.
Question number 9 comes from Honk, who asks, I watch all the vids. I got to know. It's 1,000 degrees out there. What's up with the long sleeves? I've heard they can help keep you cool. Never worked for me. Cuervo is my homeboy. Well, Honk, yeah, just, I think a lot of people that don't live in hot regions, or at least not living in the desert, they think that you're going to be cooler by walking around in a tank top and flip-flops and stuff like that. And yeah, that can work if you're on vacation and you have access right away to get to a cool place, to get to your hotel room. But if you are out here like surviving or being, exposed to the elements for an extended period of time, you're going to want some layers. I mean, look at cultures that live around deserts, Saudi Arabia, the Sahara Desert. You see those people and they're covered head to toe in robes. I mean, hell, even Star Wars, look at the Tusken Raiders. You want to retain a lot of your coolness, and that's what it's going to be able to do. You know, when you're sweating and the winds are passing by, you're losing through energy. You're losing your moisture. So you want to have shirts that can hold on to it. Also, keep in mind at nights the desert do get cold. So I have the versatility of lowering my sleeves if I have to, as opposed to if I'm walking around on a tank top and it gets cold, and now I'm shivering all night. You know, so you want to have layers, and you got to realize also that we also have spines and prickly everything out here. So walking around in Daisy Dukes and you're walking amongst, you know, tumbleweeds and cactus and mesquite, you're gonna hurt. You're gonna bleed. So you want the protection of layers and long sleeves. Question number 10 comes from Sinestral Citizen, who asks, "What are your favorite outdoor YouTube channels?" I don't really have a lot these days. I think as the years have gone on, I started watching less and less on YouTube for one reason or another. So I tend to watch other types of genres on YouTube. The ones that I still watch for the most part are Dave Canterbury. I know he gets a lot of hate, but I think he's a very well-rounded channel. He's able to show a lot of versatility, and that's something that I've always really admired. I'm not really into the whole like sticking to one genre kind of thing, or this channel's only about knives, or this channel's only about gear reviews, or this channel's only about hunting, like stuff like that. I like a channel that's versatile. That's, you know, YouTube doesn't like that. Of course, YouTube likes you to kind of stick to one box, and to a big degree, the audience wants you to stick to one box. But I can't really get into that. I think that's a big fault of Junkyard Fox because we're always doing all kinds of things. But Dave, you know, he can talk to you about knives. He can talk to you about, you know, cooking recipes. He can talk to you about all kinds of stuff. So I think he's a wealth of knowledge. Other than that, Coal Cracker Bushcraft I think is a really cool channel as well. You know, he's funny. He's you know, he's very he looks like a kind of guy you can have a beer with, but at the same time he's teaching. You know, so well balanced there. He's not, you know, he's not a boring teacher, and he's also not just some goofy guy that you can't take serious. So Coal Cracker's another good one. Bob Hansler, another fellow Texan. We've learned a lot from him, doing a lot of foraging and catching cooks. And he hasn't made videos in a long time. He's had a lot of health problems, but yeah, he was a very pivotal channel when we were getting started. All right, what about you, Cuervo?
Black Owl Outdoors, right? That's what they're called.
Another channel that I don't think they make anything anymore.
No, they went out of, well, they stopped making videos, but I like them because they like doing a lot of explorations. They did talk a lot about bushcraft stuff, but it was more the spiritual journey of two brothers and the outdoors, and I think it was very beautifully filmed the way they did it, and I don't know, I just like joining them, or at least I felt like I was there with them in their journey through their videos and stuff like that. So I really like them. And another YouTube channel that I don't think he does stuff anymore is Jeff Martin, right?
Oh yeah, Primitive Lifeways.
Yeah, Primitive Lifeways. He has immense knowledge about Native Americans and stuff like that. It's always good to know that kind of stuff. But yeah, those are my YouTubers.
Question number 10 comes from Bernie Brozerhos, and he asks, "Why do you look 23 and 40 at the same time?" Thanks, Bernie. I'm in the middle between those two age groups, so you know, I guess it depends on the lighting and how well I slept that day, and you know, so you know, on a good day, I'll look pretty good, and another day I'll just look like shit. So, thank you for asking.
All right, so question 11 comes from official Brandon 12. Do you think you'll have a YouTube channel? Would love to see some Cuervo overnighters. Okay, so I do have a YouTube channel. It's mostly the music of Cuervo Negro, and there's a lot of songs that don't appear on the Junkyard Fox channel. So there's a couple of videos of me jamming on there and just songs in general. And for overnighters, if it has nothing to do with music, I probably wouldn't do it. honestly. I'd probably have to create something separate for it. But if I do end up getting better with medicinal plants and stuff like that, I'll probably make a YouTube channel and, just teaching people about the ways, or at least things I've learned. And that's it, pretty much. So check out the YouTube channel and check out the link tree and all that good stuff. Buy me a suit and cut off my hair and send me to work in tall buildings. So it's goodbye to the sunshine, goodbye to the dew.
Okay, folks, so that is about it for our Q&A video. I hope you enjoyed it. We try to keep these very short and brief where we don't overstay our welcome and they start getting boring. Just something enough to get to know us and have a cold one with us. I hope you did. And that's about it for us, folks. Now, we answered as much as we could from the new stuff. We do constantly get questions that have been answered before in other Q&A videos. So if you're interested in getting to know us a little bit more and our personality and our likes and dislikes, we'll have the playlist to that video, to those videos up here. And that's about it for us, folks. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up and comment down below if you have any questions, comments, suggestions. Be sure to mention if you have anything that you want us to answer in the upcoming Q&A. And that's about it for us, folks. So thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Now go outside and get your boots dirty. Yeah, we're still rolling. That's right. You thought I would have phased out right now and put a Cuervo song and some B-roll of like the lake? Nah, we're still rolling. It's awkward right now. How's it going?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm just asking.